everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm just going to pull up comments right now for Facebook and YouTube. Hi, Mom of 3. Thanks for joining. What's going on with my hair today, you guys? It's fine, okay? It's fine. How's everyone's week going so far? Good? I hope so. Well, let's see. I'm not seeing comments yet from Facebook. Oh, there they go. Perfect. Hi, Christine. Perfect. It looks like everyone's joining. I forgot it was Wednesday. Oh no, Amber, it is Wednesday. It's hump day. Doesn't the week seem to just go by so fast? I think the weeks lately have gone by really fast. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing since, you know, I think a lot of us don't even know what day of the week it is most of the time. Like Amber said, right? Like they all just seem like it's all just the same day. Can you hear my daughter? I think she's singing. I don't really know, honestly. Well, thanks for joining, everyone. If you hear screaming out there, she is by herself. Her brothers went golfing with their dad, and she didn't want to go, so she's out there by herself watching a show. So I think she's singing. I don't know. But if you hear her, that's what that noise is. It's my little 5-year-old out there hanging out by herself. Okay, so thanks for joining, everyone. We are going to be really actually this live. Of course, we have some giveaways that we're doing, but really I'm just going to be here answering your questions. Answering all of your questions about diluting essential oils, how can you dilute, why you would need to dilute, basic, you know, really kind of essential oil one-on-one about diluting. And so I'm just going to be answering all your questions today. That's really what we're going to be doing, as well as having some fun. But before we jump into all of that, I am going to see who is joining us today. Give some shout outs. We have Anna from East Tennessee has joined us. Cecilia from Wisconsin. Celeste from Oregon's joined us. Hi, May. We have Valerie from Florida. Christina from Oregon. Let's see. Denise from Oregon. We have Nina from Washington, Hannah from Wisconsin, Valerie from Florida, Melissa from Missouri, Nicole from Michigan, Caitlin from New York, Anita from Oregon. We have a lot of customers from Oregon joining us today. Terry from Delaware, Julie. Hi, Julie. Diane from New Jersey. Jemima from Australia's joined us today. Amanda from Colorado. Jemima, I had a call with some people from Australia yesterday. We were talking about the lives and how we have a lot of Australian customers who stay up late or, you know, join at random times from Australia because the hours are so different. Our time zones are so different, but they want to watch the live. So thanks for joining, and lots more people. And then I'm going to give, let's see, who do we have joining on Instagram? We have Lisa from North Carolina. We have BJ Kleck says Cleveland here. Jenny from Washington. Flower Box from Maryland. We have Gabby from Pennsylvania. Mauricio from Florida. Pro-caffeinating mom of 7 from Iowa. Oh, it's cold here today too in Twin Falls in Idaho. Sea Crystals Pearls from Michigan. And Kim Bruno from Texas. Well, thanks everyone for joining. It is cold here. We had, for a minute, I was just, you know, sitting at I have my desk. It's right sitting by my back windows in my bedroom. And like all of a sudden it was getting really windy and then rain just started coming. It was pretty crazy. But so no matter what the weather looks like or where you're joining from, thank you for joining today. Okay, so first we're going to start out by guessing what the oil is. So right here, oops, did I show you guys? Usually has another section. Okay, so this is the image I'm going to show you. You have to guess what essential oil comes from this plant, and you get a chance to win this essential oil, that essential oil. So what you're going to do is I'm showing you this image right here, and I want you to leave your guesses in the comments section of the live video. You don't have to be correct to be entered to win the oil. Just leave your guesses. It can be totally wrong, but leave your guesses here. I'll come get a closer view. Chelsea says, I have no idea. That's okay. Just put anything. It is interesting. I'm honestly not sure about this image. I want to do some Googling right now because, you know what? I feel like I need to Google. You guys have seen it, right? It's no clue. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I feel like, okay, I mean, it looks to be the correct image. I'm not gonna lie, you guys. I really was not positive on this one. You guys, I haven't seen anybody that's got it right yet. I'm looking. I haven't seen anybody who's gotten it right. That's okay. I'm going to tell you what it is. This was a hard one. I was not confident this was the correct picture. So I did a Google search, and in fact, it looks like it might be the correct picture. Oh, there we have a correct answer. The correct answer is cinnamon. You guys, did you know that cinnamon came from a tree? So cinnamon, yeah, cinnamon comes from the bark. And these are the leaves. These bright colors are the leaves coming off of the tree. Who would have guessed, right? That was a hard one. So let's choose some people who are going to win some cinnamon bark. Cinnamon. I don't know. Sounds funny coming out of my mind. Yay, cinnamon, so cool. So we're gonna choose some winners to win some cinnamon here. Some cinnamon bark. I'm just scrolling through back to the top, okay? Right here we have Carrie Dingler. Carrie Dingler, I think she was on YouTube. Carrie Dingler, you just won yourself a 10 ml cinnamon bark. I'm gonna put this one back. That was a tricky one, you guys. I wasn't even confident in that. And then let's choose our Instagram winner. We have, I'm going to scroll to where you guys started guessing. I have no ideas. So many. I have no ideas. I didn't know either. Sorry, I'm just scrolling through. Okay, here we go. Hold on, my phone's moving, so I'm going to get down. Right here, we have Gabby 3712. Their guess was neroli. 3712. Gabby 3712. So the two winners, email cs@planttherapy.com. Hit that. And we will get a 10 ml cinnamon bark sent to the two of you. Congratulations. That's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Cinnamon is a really good oil. Not only does it smell amazing, and a lot of people are familiar with it, especially during like holiday time, you know, like the potpourri and the cinnamon scented pine cones that are in a lot of stores. That cinnamon is just a very familiar smell, but it also has a lot of disinfecting properties. That's why it will be found in like our germ fighter, because it is really good at killing germs. So it's really good at that, and then it also has a lot of immune boosting properties. So cinnamon's really quite a fantastic oil all year round, but it's often recognized as being an oil that's used often, or that's recognizable, especially during the holiday times. So cinnamon's a pretty awesome oil. Okay, so today, like I mentioned, we are talking all about diluting essential oils. Do you need to dilute essential oils? How do you dilute essential oils? What can you dilute essential oils in? And basically, I'm just going to be here to answer all of your questions. So if you haven't checked out the blog post called something about diluting essential oils using them neat. Hold on, I'll pull it up right now. I had it up, but then I did myself some Googling. It is called, so it was posted on the 7th of this month, and it's called Why Can't I Apply Essential Oils Undiluted, aka neat. So how many of you, I want you to raise your hand if you have read that blog post already. Put your hand up. Woo. How many of you have already read this blog post? The blog post, while your comments are coming in, let's see. Lisa said, oh. Well, hold on, Instagram. If that's not live, you guys, that just scared the heck out of me. Oh my goodness. I don't know. Okay, Instagram, you're going to look at, how's that fan? That's my fan in my bedroom. I have to fix the sticky part. Okay, let's get under control here. I have no control. Facebook, I'm sorry. My Instagram, my phone just popped off. It about gave me a heart attack. It popped off and flew on the ground. Woo! Okay, so a lot of you are giving me a thumbs up, high five. You're raising your hand. I know, it scared me. I'm sorry. So a lot of you are saying, yes, you have read it already. The blog post really goes into detail. I was saying something about Lisa. She was saying how sometimes people say that you don't need to dilute, but she's going to say that you do. And it is true that plant therapy does recommend you always dilute essential oils. And we're going to talk a little bit about that, and I can answer your questions. But the blog post is kind of broken up into a couple sections. So it says, first, it talks about a myth that a lot of times people will say if essential oils are 100% pure, you don't need to dilute them because it's the adulterations and those things that make essential oils unsafe to use, neat or undiluted. And it talks about how that is in fact not true. And it's kind of the opposite, that the purer the essential oil is, the more likely it is that you do need to dilute it and follow the dilution recommendations. Because essential oils are concentrated plant extracts, and they are so concentrated that they are intense, and it talks a little bit about that. So how that is in fact a myth, and you do need to dilute essential oils that are 100% pure. The next thing it talks about is how some oils are considered hot oils and some oils are considered cold oils, and how both of those kind of ends of the spectrum usually make it so you need to dilute or properly dilute. The properly diluting is even more important because hot oils actually can burn your skin. I've unfortunately seen people who have gotten actual burn boils on their skin from like using cinnamon or oregano undiluted on their skin. And then you go the other direction with the cold oil like peppermint, that has that cooling effect, and if it's not properly diluted, it can feel like it burns because of how cooling it is. And this is one of the reasons that we don't recommend peppermint be used in the bath, because it can especially be cooling to some sensitive areas in the bathtub. So it talks a little bit about that. The next thing it talks about is sensitization. So the blog post, it talks about what is sensitization, what can cause it, and unfortunately, we have seen there have been, there was kind of this uptick in like beginning essential oil users, especially with lavender, because for a long time it was believed that lavender is such a really soft, gentle oil that it didn't need to be diluted. And so a lot of aromatherapists and people who worked with essential oils regularly weren't diluting lavender specifically because it is such a gentle oil. And a lot of them are now sensitized to lavender and can no longer use lavender without gloves or something on, mixing, and then they can't use it topically on themselves. So we saw that a lot, and I think it's through that kind of research that we realized, hold on, even the gentle oils like lavender need to be diluted. And then it also talks about the phototoxic section, and we can talk about that, but oftentimes that comes with some citrus oils, and the reaction that the oil has with the sun, and how that can cause burning or itchiness, a lot of issues. If you use certain essential oils that are phototoxic, if you use them topically without being properly diluted and then go out in the sun. And then really the last two things are how, when you don't dilute essential oils, it's kind of wasting your money, and we can go into that a little bit more. And then how do you dilute essential oils? So that's really what is talked about in the blog post. So I highly recommend, especially if you're new to essential oils or new to plant therapy, and you want to understand our reasoning for always recommending diluting essential oils, I recommend you go and read that blog post, because it really is full of a lot of good information. But I thought, because that blog post is there, right, and you can go and read it afterwards, I thought it might be good to really just take the majority of this live and just answer some of your questions. So I saw a lot of questions coming through as I was talking, so I'm going to go back and see if I can read some of your questions. Julie says she reads all of them. That's good, Julie. We need education to help answer those customers' questions. Let's see. Let me see if I can find it. I saw some coming through. Carrie said, I have applied lavender and tea tree neat to myself in very small amounts, but I never recommend it, and I was desperate when I did it. So in that blog post, and as you hear from Carrie's comment, we use the word neat, and just FYI, for those who aren't aware, neat means undiluted. So it's just another name that is used that means undiluted. So Carrie's saying that she has used lavender and tea tree undiluted on herself. And the reality is, you know, most of the time using lavender or tea tree or a very gentle oil a couple of times undiluted on yourself isn't a big deal, right? I've had a bee sting, or my child's had a bee sting, and really quickly I'll just drop like a little bit of lavender, right? So it might be once every few years that I might get an undiluted essential oil. And that's not a problem. It's the consistent, regular use of essential oils undiluted that can cause the problem, as well as using some oils undiluted like cinnamon and oregano. That will instantaneously cause a problem because it is a hot oil. And so those who are really familiar with essential oils, you know, like I said, I might use a lavender once every couple of years undiluted, but we always recommend you dilute essential oils in general. So I think that's a great comment, Carrie, that it can happen sometimes, and it's not like the end of the world, you know, often. Although other times it can be pretty scary, and I've seen some scary outcomes with not customers, but maybe customers or just individuals who have used essential oils undiluted. Let's see. Can peppermint be put in shampoo? So peppermint, yeah, I would say it can be put in shampoo, but I would do the less than a 1% dilution to start, just because it is so cooling, and you do want to be careful, especially when you have the heat of the water or the steam, and then the peppermint makes the peppermint feel even more cooling. So you do have to be careful when you are using peppermint in a setting like that, but it can be. We just recommend that you dilute it extra well for something like that. Let's see. Is there a best oil to dilute them in? So that is a great question. So there's not really a best carrier oil to dilute your essential oils in. There are a lot of different options, and something to keep in mind is that carrier oils also have therapeutic benefits. So if you are using an essential oil for a very specific topical reason, like anti-aging, or you have eczema, or irritated skin, something like that, there would be a carrier oil that would be better to dilute it in than other carrier oils, because carrier oils do have therapeutic benefits. And we have a lot of blog posts on carrier oils, and we talk about the therapeutic benefits, what they're good for, to help you make that best decision. But I have lots of carrier options right here. So we have your carrier oils like jojoba, grapeseed, coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil. Those are your carrier oils, and really any of them are great to dilute essential oils. But like I said, they do have therapeutic benefits themselves, so some may be better than others, specifically when you're looking at a topical concern. Our aloe vera jelly, that is another option that you can use. Aloe vera jelly is a great, Plant Therapy's aloe vera jelly is a great carrier to dilute your essential oils. Another option is Plant Therapy's Healing Balm. That can be used to dilute essential oils. It's especially really good for something that you want to sit on the surface a little bit longer. So for like respiratory support, right? You don't want it to be absorbed into your skin quickly, because you want it on the surface longer so that you can smell the oils, and it helps with respiratory support. So using like a healing balm is really fantastic for that. Healing balm's also really fantastic for like super dry skin or a burn or something that you also want it to sit on the surface a little bit longer and not absorb it as quickly. You'll want to use the healing balm as a carrier for an option like that. And I meant to grab my age-defying unscented body cream and actually forgot. But an unscented lotion, cream, butter, anything like that can be used to dilute essential oils as well. And I know a lot of customers prefer to buy the unscented body butter or body cream so that they can add whatever scents they want to it. And so that's a fantastic option as well. Denise says, I'm glad the aloe jellies are back. We are too. I know you customers have been waiting for those, and we are glad to have them back as well. I think Danny, okay, so Jemima says, what's the difference between food grade carrier oils and Plant Therapy's carrier oils? So the biggest difference would be if you are saying that something is food grade, that needs to be regulated by the FDA, because all food it's a different regulation than a cosmetic, right? So something that is supposed to be used internally is regulated by the FDA different than something that is supposed to be used topically. And so really the only difference is Plant Therapy Plant Therapy looks at our carrier oils as a cosmetic, so something to be used topically, and so we don't go through the regulatory process to have them as food grade and looked at as a food by the FDA. So really that's the only difference. I know that a lot of our customers will use some of our carrier oils in cooking or something, but because the process that we go through and how the FDA looks at our products, it's considered a cosmetic, and so we can't say that they're food grade or that they can be used internally because of that. But really that's the only difference. It's just the regulatory and how the FDA looks at products and everything that you have to go to get them considered a food or a supplement or a cosmetic or anything like that. Yeah, how could I forget my favorite, the age-defying body cream? I know. I was getting things out of the cupboard here, and these are all things that were brought over by Danny for the show, and I just needed to grab mine, and then I missed it. I always forget about the Healing Balm, Maggie says. It really is a fantastic product, and one of our customers' favorite, and there's a lot of different uses, so yeah, don't forget about the Healing Balm for sure. So I see another question I wanted to answer. Sarah says, why do some oil companies say therapeutic grade oils? Is that a real thing? So in the United States, there is no grading or certifying of essential oils, period, end of conversation. And what I mean by that, so I guess there is grading and certifying, but not on a federal or like a third party level. It just doesn't exist in the United States. It does exist in other countries, but it does not exist in the United States. So when a company says that their oils are therapeutic grade, that's simply just a marketing term that company is using. There's no federal government, there's no group, there's nothing like that is certifying or grading that oil and saying, yes, that is a therapeutic grade oil. Nothing like that exists in the United States. So when a company is using that, it's for marketing purposes only, because that has been often used in the past as it's the highest quality, the best. And so companies will just put that because that's what people are searching, right? And when people are searching, companies want their products to come up, but it doesn't actually mean anything relating to the quality at all. You will find that some companies will have their own like certifying or grading that they use to describe the quality of their oils. If that's the case, just remember that that is something that the company has put in place, right? So that's not like a third party or something like that that is grading or certifying those oils. It's just the standards that the company themselves has put in place and kind of what they're naming those standards. And so, yeah, that's not something that Plant Therapy chooses to do on our, on planttherapy.com using the therapeutic grade term, because it doesn't actually mean anything with quality. And we want to focus on sharing the GCMS reports and sharing education and quality and really helping educate our customers on what quality means and what you need to be looking for in a company to know if their oils are quality. And that's where we want to put our focus, and just instead of using the term therapeutic grade, because it doesn't actually mean anything. Let's see. Carrie says, Healing Balm is my fave. Just gave my sister some for her severely dry hands. Everything is burning her, so I gave her a few PT products and they are working great. Yeah, the Healing Balm really is good as like a protective barrier too, because it does sit on your skin for much longer than like a carrier oil would. Okay. Let's see. I've seen lots of comments on Instagram come through. So I'm going to scroll through. Explain what the GCMS report is. So yeah, I would love to explain what a GCMS report is. So GCMS report is the type of test that Plant Therapy does. It's one of the type of tests and the most recognized and familiar in the industry. But it's the type of test that Plant Therapy does to identify the purity of our essential oils. And I say purity specifically because there's a lot of other tests and things that we do to identify the quality. And those are two separate things. You can have a pure essential oil that might not get passed by Plant Therapy because we don't consider a quality oil. And quality can also include, some of the minor constituents. It can include like the constituent range. It can include what the viscosity, the smell of the oil is. So even if you have a pure oil, it might stink or might whatever. And so we wouldn't consider a quality oil because of those other things. But the purity is breaking down each of the chemical constituents within the essential oil to make sure that there's been no adulterants added, there's been no additives, right? That nothing else is in that product except for what should be in that essential oil. And that's what a GCMS does. It breaks down every single one of the chemical constituents, tells you at what percentage that chemical constituent is within the essential oil. And then we can also see if there's anything that shouldn't be in the essential oil that's showing up on the GCMS report. So that's why it's showing you, the purity, because it's breaking down everything that's in that essential oil. And Plant Therapy does those tests. We do multiple rounds, and the round that we post on the website is the actual last bulk product that we get in that we then bottle and send to our customers. So it goes through multiple rounds, but we send the very last round of testing to our customers to make sure that you have the most up-to-date testing on that oil. And that's posted on the website, so any customer can go. There's a batch number on the bottom of the bottle that's like it's a light yellow. Sometimes customers have to use a flashlight to see it, but it's a light yellow and it's always towards the bottom of the bottle. And that batch number correlates to a specific test on the website, so customers can go and look up that specific batch GCMS test on that oil that they have in their hands. So it's pretty cool. Let's see, what other questions do you have? Any other questions about diluting or quality or Plant Therapy? I don't know, really whatever you want. Let's see. Oh, it looks like Danny's sending me some questions, so let me look at that instead of scrolling all the way back. Danny's sending me some. Okay, let's see. Oh my goodness, Danny sent me a lot that I'm just seeing now. Why do some companies say you don't have to dilute? That is a good question. I don't have the answer to that. I do know that there are a lot of companies out there that do pre-dilute their essential oils, and they come in a bottle like this, which I know can be confusing because like if you're familiar with Plant Therapy as well as other companies, are undiluted is what comes in this type of bottle. And like we'll mark it very clear if it is a diluted essential oil. But sometimes some companies are just diluting all their essential oils. So maybe that might be a reason why they don't recommend that you dilute, because they're previously diluted. But I mean, I can't speak to what other companies are doing or why they're doing. I just know that for lots of reasons, not only for safety, but also the blog post talks about, you know, saving money. And the reality is, you know, people who are very familiar with essential oils and who are educated in essential oils, I know our customers who watch these lives a lot, they know that my mom's an aromatherapist, I grew up using essential oils, and the reality is you do not need very much essential oil. And essential oils are volatile, meaning that they evaporate very quickly. And you can do this by doing like the paper test. So if you drop an essential oil on a piece of paper, you will see, depending on the essential oil, because the velocity is different for different essential oils, but you will see that some like are completely gone off of that paper within 20 minutes, right? Like they're not on that paper at all anymore. And that's because they are evaporating. So if you think about it just from a very logical standpoint, if I were to put a drop of this lavender on my skin, the lavender is absorbing into my skin as well as evaporating from into the air, right? So everything that evaporates is a waste. It's gone. It can't go into my skin because it has evaporated. And that's going to be a lot of the constituents, because the constituents are what makes it volatile, and the velocity of each constituent is different. So there might be constituents that are therapeutic in lavender that I'm wanting that are evaporating within seconds when I put a drop on my skin. Okay, if I mix this essential oil with the healing balm, the essential oil is now stuck in the healing balm, which means it's not evaporating because it's mixed in the healing balm completely. So when that essential oil sits on my skin with the healing balm, I mean, there would be some evaporation, but not nearly as much as if it's not diluted, which means a majority of the essential oil that you put in a carrier is then being carried into your skin. So just from that like super like high level perspective, that alone you can see why diluting essential oils, you're actually getting more essential oil into your skin, so you can use less essential oil, which in turn saves you money. So that in and of itself is like reason enough for me to dilute my essential oils. If for no other reason, that's why I would recommend you dilute essential oils, because you're getting more essential oil into your skin, into your bloodstream, because it's not being able to evaporate as quickly when it's in a carrier oil. So you're getting more of it by using less, and it's saving your money. If, like I said, if nothing else, dilute essential oils for that reason. So I really don't know why some companies don't recommend it, but it is something that plant therapy is really passionate about, and that we will continue to educate our customers, because there's really no reason why you shouldn't dilute. There just isn't. But there's a ton of reasons why you should dilute. So we're going to recommend it. Okay, I just got on a high horse. I don't know what I'm saying, you guys. Let's see. How do you dilute when using 2 or more essential oils in a blend? So when you're using multiple essential oils in a blend, you need to add up all the drops of the essential oils, and that's the dilution percentage. So, for example, if I want a 1% dilution, I need 3 drops essential oil in 10 ml of carrier oil. So if I'm using peppermint and lavender and lemon, I'm not going to do 3 drops lemon, 3 drops lavender, and 3 drops peppermint, because all of a sudden that's now 9 drops of essential oil, and I only want a 1% dilution. So if I need 3 drops total, I'm going to do 1 drop peppermint, 1 drop lavender, and 1 drop lemon. So if you're using more than 1 essential oil, you want to add up all the essential oils, and that total number of drops is what's going to be your end dilution and what you should be focusing on. Okay, so many questions, you guys. These are great questions. I already answered that one. Is there a best oil to dilute them in? And we talked about that. Marissa says, do you recommend making master blends all the time? I've been mixing as my hand is needed, but I'm rethinking that. No, I don't always recommend making master blends. So what a master blend is, that's when you're going to dilute all of your essential oils together in a separate thing and then add those drops to whatever carrier or base you're doing. But no, I'm okay with just applying the carrier to my hand and then adding the drops of essential oil, because the reality is even though I could possibly get undiluted essential oil on my hand, as soon as it touches that carrier oil, it's instantly diluting it. So it's not that big of a deal. If you're super sensitive to like a hot oil like cinnamon or something, then yeah, I would recommend you mix that previously, just because that is hot and it will instantly burn, where other oils you're going to be diluting it so quickly by rubbing that mixture together that I don't see it as a concern at all. Let's see. Pam says, is it okay to diffuse oils around a newly born baby or to diffuse in the labor room? It is. Yeah, you can do that. There are going to be some extra safety precautions that we would recommend, like only using kid-safe oils. We would recommend that the diffuser runs for a short period of time. In the labor room or with the newborn baby, we wouldn't recommend you just diffuse. We would recommend like maybe having the diffuser run for a few seconds and then off, and then a few seconds and then off, so that there is some room. But you definitely can. There just might be some extra safety precautions that we would recommend. And if you have any other questions on that, Pam, email cs@planttherapy.com, and they can go into even more in-depth of some of the safety recommendations or what some of the oils that you could do, all that kind of stuff. They'll be more than happy to go into some of that further detail with you. Let's see. Eric Johnson says, I was looking at a video from another company yesterday, and they said 99% of companies take out or change the oil a little bit to make it smell better. Does plant therapy do that? No, plant therapy does not do that. That's called standardizing, and there's actually nothing wrong with standardizing. It's a pure oil. It is what it is. However, I think it's very important that companies who standardize oils are very transparent about it, because even though there's like from like a purity standpoint, there's nothing really wrong with standardizing. A lot of people don't prefer, because they want the essential oil in its like natural state, right? So you will see with plant therapy that from one batch to the other, it will smell different, because plant therapy chooses to not standardize our oils. What you get is what you get. But there are, like Eric was saying, there are some companies who will take out minor constituents or will mix batches. So they might have one batch and another batch, and one of the batches might not smell as good. So they mix it with the one that smells better, so that they don't have to like not use that batch or throw that batch away or whatever it might be. They'll mix it with the batch that smells better. That does happen, as well as removing minor constituents to make it smell better, or to whatever. That's called standardizing. It's not something plant therapy does. If plant therapy does do it, so there are some oils that we do that with, like bergamot. We remove a constituent in bergamot so that bergamot is not phototoxic. However, we state that on the product page. So if anytime plant therapy does anything like that with an oil where we're removing a minor constituent for whatever reason, we never standardize. We never mix batches to make them smell better, which is why our customers who are familiar with plant therapy know that from batch to batch, you get a different smell with plant therapy. But sometimes there are a couple oils where we do remove a minor constituent, but that's stated on the product page, so that our customers can make that decision. And bergamot is one of those where we remove the constituent that makes it phototoxic. So a lot of companies, their bergamot is phototoxic. Plant Therapies is not, because it's bergeptin free, because we remove that constituent that makes it phototoxic. Okay, you guys, there are so many questions. I can't believe we've already been on this live for almost 40 minutes. That's crazy. What is the difference between fractionated coconut oil and buying coconut oil at the store? So solid organic coconut oil, and then there's fractionated. Fractionated oil, it's gone through a fractionation process that makes it stay liquid at room temperature, where regular coconut oil that you would get in the store is solid at room temperature. Coconut oil, fractionated coconut oil that is liquid at room temperature is a lot easier to dilute and work with essential oils, which is why you will often find fractionated coconut oil being sold by essential oil companies, because it's in a liquid form instead of in a solid form. So that's the difference. Okay. Whew. Let's see. How does anyone use oils by constituents instead of smell? That's a good question. So I will tell you that plant therapy, in all of our blending and formulating our essential oils, we do it by constituent, with the therapeutic benefit being number one and then smell being number two. But absolutely, we are looking at the GCMs test when mixing all of those oils to make sure that it's absolutely the highest in therapeutic value. But from a customer perspective, that would be interesting to know. Okay, guys, let's do a couple more questions and then we're going to do a giveaway. Does the essential oil smell disappear or does it stay on the skin after the oil evaporates and absorbs into the skin? So again, it's certain constituents that make the essential oil smell the way they smell, right? Everything that makes an essential oil is based on the constituents that are found in that essential oil. Some constituents that are found in essential oil are more volatile than other constituents. So although, like, once it completely evaporated, you wouldn't smell it anymore. But if you were to put it on a piece of paper and immediately smell the oil and then come back and smell it 15 minutes later, come back and smell it an hour later, you will notice that every time you smell that piece of paper, the oil smells different. And that's because the constituents are already starting to evaporate. So those smells that are coming from that constituent are gone. So the oil smells different every time you smell it. And that's because of the evaporation. So once it's completely evaporated, you wouldn't be able to smell it anymore. And the smell will change as it slowly starts to evaporate, which is pretty cool. And also something we do, that's one of the tests that we do, is the organoleptic test that we do on every essential oil. We smell it throughout those periods, throughout the day, because we want to smell every constituent that's in the oil. And if you only smell it, you really are just smelling some constituents if you only smell it at the beginning. So we smell it throughout the day at different periods to make sure that we can smell and recognize all those constituents to understand the quality of the oil instead of just the purity. So it's really kind of cool. Let's see. How do you calculate for max dermal use when using multiple oils? So that's a really good question and kind of a complicated answer. So often, I think, who was it? Marissa or someone earlier said they talked about the master. So when you're diluting multiple oils and some of them have max dermal use, you always want to make sure that the individual oil you are using at the max dermal use. So for example, germ fighter, if you want to use if you're diluting germ fighter for a max dermal use of 1%, and I have 10 ml of carrier oil, but I want to use other essential oils, I'm going to just do you could do up to 3 drops of germ fighter. And then let's say I want a 2% total, I'm going to do only 3 drops of germ fighter because that's going to get germ fighter at its max dermal use of 1%. And then I would add a total of 3 drops of another oil to get it up to the 2%. But you wouldn't want to do the germ fighter at the 2% if it had the max dermal use of 1%. Did that make any sense? I don't know. It barely made sense in my brain. I don't know. That's a tough one to answer. Let me know if that made any sense, you guys. Okay, so I am caught up on all the comments Danny sent. Let me get caught up. Oh my goodness, I really don't think that made any sense. I'm sorry. I'm just going to get caught up on Instagram comments. Here we go. Oh, makes sense to me. Oh, good, Casey. Woo! That was a close one. Yes, I got it. Good. Yes, makes sense. Perfect. It's so hard to explain. I wish I could show it, but it's hard. But I know it is hard to do. It is hard to do, but I think we have dilution charts and a lot of blog posts that can help you out. And that's really what I would recommend. But again, if you have any other questions, email cs@planttherapy.com. Hopefully they can, they can link to the dilution chart and hopefully break it down a little bit more in an email. Okay, you guys, I think we answered a ton of questions. You had really good questions today. Thanks for asking all of your questions. Go and check out that blog post if you haven't yet. Again, it's called, Why Can't I Apply essential oils undiluted, aka neat. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Why can't I apply essential oils undiluted, aka neat? That's the blog post. Go check it out. I hope this video and answering your questions was helpful. It got confusing even for me for a little bit, so I hope it wasn't too confusing for all of you. But go check out that blog post for sure because it is helpful. Okay, so who's ready for an end of video giveaway? Are you guys ready? You will have until midnight tonight to enter this giveaway, and you must enter via the giveaway link. Who is that? Fabric Collector says that they're going to have to rewatch tonight. I know it was a lot of information. So thanks for enjoying it enough that you want to rewatch it to kind of collect all that information. Okay, so back to the giveaway. So you have until midnight tonight to enter, and you must enter via the giveaway link. So Instagram, you can find the link in the Plant Therapy stories. There will be one of the stories that says giveaway, and it will have you swipe up, and it will take you to the giveaway link. Facebook and YouTube, you can find the giveaway link in the comment section of the live videos as well as in the description of the live videos. Again, you have until midnight tonight to enter the giveaway, and your giveaway question is, wait for it, what does it mean to apply essential oils neat? So I talked about that in the show, or you can always go to that blog post and read, but what does it mean to apply essential oils neat, and what is Plant Therapy's stance on that subject? So do we recommend you apply essential oils neat? Yes or no? That is your giveaway question. We are going to choose 5 winners because I think that this is a really important subject. So I would love it if you guys could share this video with anybody who's interested in essential oils, has any questions about diluting or essential oil uses or plant therapy. I recommend that you share this video because this information is hugely important, and you guys had awesome questions that I was able to hopefully partially answer for you tonight. But share this video. We're going to choose 5 winners, and each of the winners are going to win a $15 credit to planttherapy.com. So go and enter. You have until midnight tonight to enter, so just a few hours left. So make sure you go and enter as soon as you can, and let us know, what does it mean to apply essential? What does it mean to apply essential oils neat, and what is Plant Therapy's stance on that subject? That is your giveaway, I guess, questions. 5 winners, $15 credit to planttherapy.com. So good luck, everyone. We will be back for another live on Friday, and we will be talking about our Friday products. We'll be back on Friday to talk about our Friday products. That live will be at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time, so make sure you come and join us if you're interested to learn more. I believe it's a kid-safe edition. So come back, learn more about those oils. We can talk about the giveaway. Maybe we'll have a fun DIY or something. That's at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Thanks for joining, everyone. Thanks for sending in your awesome questions. And hopefully I was able to answer most of them. But if not, of course, please know, always email cs@planttherapy.com or our awesome aromatherapist at aromatherapist@planttherapy.com. Thanks for joining. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you Monday. Bye.